So it is 4 o'clock and we are still missing many, many people. So we'll wait a bit for them to show up.
I'm surprised that there are less. I'm surprised that most of the people aren't here.
I have a feeling maybe some of the people didn't realize it's the same Zoom link as last time. Well, today we've got some fun stuff to do. Once some
Kinda
more people
like
show up.
my idea of when a creeper explodes, Minecraft equals null.
Well, we could do that, but we'll get to that. I already have one planned, but then after that, pretty much it's going to be your guys' suggestions.
Oh, and someone once told me that coding is just a bunch of if-then statements. Like, if this happens, then do this.
Sort of. You'll see when we get started. Give it a couple more minutes. And this should be simple enough, I think. So all 5 of the guys who are here, you already have it all set up and everything, right? From last meeting.
Yeah.
Don't open Minecraft yet. Just open up IntelliJ for now. Let me share my screen as well. Share screen. So you should pretty much just be at this point. So if you're right here and there's no like red X's or anything, then you are good to go. And we will wait a little bit more, and then if people show up late, well, that's on them.
I have a question. I have a question.
Sure.
Hold on, can I screen share? Because something popped up in my thing.
Yeah, I'll stop mine. Stop share.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Alright. this. If we look in the bottom right, there's a new plugin. Should I
Oh, you
open
can just ignore that. IntelliJ comes with like some default plugins built in. Kotlin is a different language that we are not going to be using, so you don't need to worry about that one.
Okay.
All right, it's 4:05. We have 6 people. Let me take attendance real quick, and then we might as well just get started. If people show up late, then we'll get them up to speed. All right, you're here, you're here, you're here. No, not you. Here. And you. Okay, all right. So today we are going to be looking at event handler mods. And I have one planned that we're going to go through, but then we can go into whatever ideas you guys might have after that. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to make it so that whenever any living entity dies, it will create an explosion. So like if you kill a pig, it'll explode. You kill a creeper, it blows up. You kill, I don't know, a villager or something, it blows up as well. So anything, any living entity that dies is going to explode. That's what we're going to do. And it should be relatively simple, I think. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Here it is, share screen. Okay, so this is where everybody should be at right now. You should have IntelliJ open with like just these folders on the left, nothing open in the middle here and all that. So, and you might be like this too. So if you left click on the little arrow here next to, if yours might say Forge or something else, I have Forge 1 because I have to, keep the 3 classes separate. But you click the little arrow here and you'll drop down any of all these folders. And I'm going to reiterate, if you ever have any questions or ever think I'm going too fast, please tell me. Okay, so inside this Forge folder, we have source, which we went over last time, means source code. And there we're going to go to main, and then we're going to go to Java. Now, last time we went into this example mod thing and looked at it, which in retrospect was kind of a mistake because they made that thing really complicated. So everybody should be here right now. What we're going to do is you're going to right click on com.example.example mod. Right click. Hello. There we go. And then just delete it. We're going to get rid of it. So again, right click on com.example.example mod and then click delete. Now it'll say like, oh, there are some files in here or whatever, are you sure you want to delete it? And we'll just say, yeah, delete it. And that will delete the example mod part. So again, we were here. And now we are here. And then just delete it again, because now it's empty. You can delete it without any annoying prompts or anything. So again, we just deleted com.example.example mod. Has anybody not been able to do that? Okay, I will say that as everybody is good. 1 second, where is my Zoom bar thing? Here it is. New messages. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up resources actually. We do need this folder today. So click the little arrow next to resources. And in there is a folder called metainf. We're gonna open that one up too. And in there is a file called mods.toml, and we're gonna double click that. And it should show up here. Now yours might not be formatted this way because I have like a plugin to do all the formatting, but we're only looking for one thing here. Now, have any of you guys played with Forge mods before? Not really? Okay, that's fine. But the essence is every mod has its own unique mod ID. So like if there was a mod called, oh, Fortnite, yes, I see. Okay, you're dealing with a very, very cool guy over here. Anyways, each mod has its own unique mod ID. So like a mod called Ice and Fire, which is one of my favorite mods. It has like dragons and whatever. That one's mod ID would probably be like Ice and Fire, all lowercase, no spaces. So every mod has to have its own mod ID that's unique and not conflicting with some other mod. So the example mod you get here, this line 15 is the important one, where it says what the mod ID of this mod is. But our mod is not going to be an example mod. It's going to be cool and good and epic. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace example mod with epic mod, because our mod is epic. Now you can make it whatever you want. I'm going to go with epic mod. So if you want like I guess an easier time following along the instructions, then change this to epic mod. So has anybody not been able to do that? Or like you can't find the line or anything like that? Okay, all good? Then that's it for mods.toml. There's some other stuff in here you can mess with, like display name of the mod, URLs, whatever, who cares. You could write a nice little description here, but that you can do on your own time. We're just gonna go over how to actually make the mods for today. So with that done, you can close resources with a little arrow. And now we have to make our own package. Now, does anybody remember how I explained a package last time? If not, it's fine, because I only went over kind of briefly. Okay, so I'm gonna, what do you mean, what should change? Yeah, you gotta change the bit that says mod ID. So before here, it says example mod, but you gotta change this example mod to something else. So if I'm gonna do epic mod, and it has to be all lowercase, no spaces or any of that stuff, just all lowercase and characters, like letters. You can change any other stuff if you want on your own time, but we're not gonna take up the time to do it here. So all we care about right now is the mod ID on line 15. And also you guys can use the voice chat to talk. It'll be easier that way if you do. Anyway, so once you have changed this mod ID to something that's not example mod, just remember what that is, because that's gonna be important. Once you've done this, we're gonna go back here to Java, and we're gonna go, and so last time I explained a package is kind of like a folder. Another way you can think of it is like a bucket. So let's say you have like a bucket of crayons and they're all different colors. There's some that are like the same color as each other. So a package is like a bucket in which you can sort these crayons by color. So like I could have a package for blocks. I could have a package for like items, a package for entities, package for dimensions. And these are all like different buckets in which I sort related items together. So what we're gonna make now is a package, because every Java file has to be inside a package. So you're gonna right click on Java. Again, right click on Java, and you're gonna go at the top to new, and then go down a bit to package. Again, right click on Java, go to new, and go to package. And you should see this little window pop up here. Has anybody not been able to find that? Okay, so now we have to name the package, and there are like naming conventions for how you name these. So, oops, I closed it. New package, here we are. So in the Forge one, they had com.example.example mod, and com stands for like company, but we're not like a company or anything. So we're gonna go with org. So org, all lowercase, no spaces, none of that. Org dot, and then put your name, and dot, and then put your mod ID. So for me, it'd be org.aditya.epicmod. All right, so once you've typed this in, you can press enter, and you should see this package here. Has anybody not been able to make the package? Okay, so that means everybody's at this point. Okay, so the next step we have to do is we are going to right click on this guy, on this package that we just made, and new Java class. Again, right click on the package, go to new Java class. All right, and then, so the naming convention for classes is, I think I might have mentioned this last time, that there's no spaces, and the first letter of every word is capitalized. So to make this easy, we're just gonna call, this is gonna be like our main mod class, we're just gonna call it main with a capital M. So again, right click on the package, go to new Java class, main with a capital M is gonna be the name of your class, and then press enter. So here we are. Is anybody not here? Okay. So this is basically the simplest class you can get. All it says is this is the package it's in, this is the name of the class, and then anything within these curly brackets is stuff that's inside the class. So this is basically the simplest class file you can get. Does anybody remember the analogy I used last time for classes and objects?
I don't think anyone remembers.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Because we went over that for like 10 minutes only, and these concepts are can be kind of hard to understand. So I'll say it again. There's classes and there's objects. And a class is like a cookie cutter, and you can make a whole bunch of cookies with that, and each cookie is an object, like made from the same template. Or you can think of it like a class is like a spawn egg, and then whatever it spawns is an object. There's only one spawn egg, but you can spawn a whole bunch of different of the same thing with that. So this is our class main. What do I have to do next? Here it is. Okay. So what you're gonna do is after this opening curly brace, you press enter, and now we've got an empty line here. And we are going to make a variable. Anybody know what a variable is? Not necessarily in Java. Okay, so a variable is something that varies. It's in the name. Yeah, an unknown value, undetermined value. Those are good answers. But in this one, we're going to tell it exactly what our variable's value is going to be. So what we're going to do here is we're going to type. And I'll explain. Don't worry if you don't get what this means. I'll explain it after we type it out. Public space static space final space capital S string space all caps mod ID equals here, and then in quotation marks epic mod. So this is a lot of stuff I just wrote here, and I'm gonna go through and explain what it is. So this one line is what's called a Java statement. And first of all, every Java statement has to end in a semicolon right here. This is saying like this is the end of the line, don't go any further. So public is what's called an access modifier, meaning it says what other classes can access this. There's public, which means any other class can access it. There is private, which means no other class can. And there's two other ones, but those are a bit more complicated, and we can talk about this later. Then there is static. Now what this means is that the value of this variable is the same for every object of this class. Now say the class creeper had, actually, you know, I might even be able to do this. Let me navigate. Let me see if I can find the creeper class itself. Here we are. What do we have in this class that could be static? Okay, so in here we have some not static variables and some static ones. So the not static ones, these ones are going to be separate for every creeper. So the explosion radius is 3. But this could be separate because if one creeper was charged, we will want that creeper's explosion radius to be 6, while the other ones are still 3. So this can't be static because it can't be the same for every creeper. These are a bit harder to explain. But essentially, these are like different states the creepers can be in, like powered or like about to blow up or whatever. And what the creeper does in that state is the same for every creeper. So these can be static because it's the same for every creeper that there exists in the world. So that's what not static and static means. Now back to main.java. Final means that this variable is never going to change, meaning it's basically a constant. So now we have a variable that can be accessed by anything, is the same for every instance of this class, does not change. And now this here is the type of the variable. A string is a Java type. That means, all right, who is copy pasting the text in the chat? Don't do that. A string is a Java type that is basically just for text. So a string could be any text like hello or like, my name or whatever. After string, in all caps, mod ID is the name of the variable, and don't do that. Just pay attention. I know this part is kind of boring, but I promise you we will get to the interesting stuff. You just have to, you got to do the lower stuff, like the setup basic stuff, before you can get to the cool stuff. So mod ID, all caps, is the name of the variable, and the naming convention for constant variables is all caps. That's why it's all caps here. Then a single equal sign tells it we have a variable and we're now going to assign a value to it. And lastly, that value is epic mod. And it's in quotation marks because that's what tells Java it's a string. So if it wasn't in quotation marks, if I remove these, it'd be like, oh, what the heck is an epic mod? But if I put it in quotation marks, I'll do that twice. There we go. So now what we've essentially done is created a variable that's accessed anywhere. It's the same for every instance of this class. It cannot change. It's of type string, meaning it's a text. Its name is mod ID in all caps, and its value is epic mod, all lowercase, no spaces. Okay. Next thing to do, up here on line 2, we're going to press enter and get a new line here. And we are going to type the @ symbol, capital M O D. And then here, if you see this mod, this net.minecraftforge.fml.com, and this is the package in which this mod class is. So once you type capital M-O-D, you can press enter. And you'll see a couple things pop up. One, this turns yellow. It gets parentheses. Oops, not what I meant to do. And this here shows up. Import is a way to say there's this other class and this other package. I want to use it, so bring it in here so I can use it. This mod class is probably one of the most important classes because it's what tells Forge this class main is the main class for a mod that exists. Now, since it has an @ symbol here, it's called an annotation. It's kind of like an adjective in that it modifies this class to say it's a mod. Now, the last step we have to do for this this file here is in this parentheses, we are going to type in epic mod, or sorry, main dot mod ID. So the dot is almost like an apostrophe S, and that it's like the mod ID owned by the class main. So let's go over what this class does again. First, it's in the package org.yourname.modid. You import this mod annotation. You put the annotation here and you tell it what the mod ID is. You create your class main, and in there you have a constant variable that is your mod ID. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, so that is like, we are like halfway to the cool stuff. We're getting there. So just hold on for a bit. We'll get there, and there will be explosions and lots of cool stuff to get to. Next step is we have to make one more class. So right click on your package, go to new Java class, right? Again, right click on the package, new Java class, and we're gonna call this one mod event subscriber. Capital M, capital E, capital S. because this class is going to be the one where we put all the information, all the event handlers, all the, do this if this event happens, that kind of stuff. So create this class. And now we have this. And you can see it's in the same package as the other class was. So there are a number of things to do here. First one is we're going to add an annotation to this class to tell Forge that it's an event handler class. So on line 2, press enter. And here we're going to type, oh, you're late? Okay. Right, so we're going to have to catch you up to speed. That is okay. It's a good review as well. So, Dhruv M, open up your IntelliJ, and you can see what's on my screen right now, right? And if you guys talk in the voice chat, it'll be a lot easier to deal with this.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, okay. So what we've done is we are currently making the Java classes that we're going to use to make our mod. And the first mod we're going to make today is one that whenever an entity dies, it's going to explode. So what we can do here is, so open up your IntelliJ. Tell me when we got to open.
Okay.
The rest of you guys can just chill for a bit. We'll catch Dhruv up to speed and then we will continue. Does anybody else showed up late? No, okay. Is it open yet?
No.
No, other Dhruv, you cannot put chat in the chat. All right, it's open. So what we're going to do is, there's a
Wait,
number of
it's
things we're going to do.
downloading some plugin updates.
Oh. Okay, this
Almost
is, how am I going to go about doing this? All right, rest of you guys, if you want, you can open up Minecraft and just start playing for now. Like this won't affect anything in the game yet. We'll get back to it once Dhruv M is set up. All right. So once you got your IntelliJ open, I want you to get to this resources folder. So like if you're here, you open this, you got a source, main, resources.
Source, main, resources.
Yeah, and then metainf.
Metainf.
And in there is a file called mods.toml. Double click that. And then on line 15, you'll see this line here. But for you, it should say example mod.
Line 15, it says mod ID equals example mod # mandatory.
So replace example mod with epic mod, all lowercase, no spaces.
Example mod with epic mod?
Yeah. You guys can go on Hypixel for 1.15, I think, but there's no there's no mods in this right now. We haven't actually installed any mods. Like it might work. You can try it. Anyways, so the mod ID here is like the unique identification of your mod. So like another mod called like Thaumcraft or something might have a mod ID called Thaumcraft. A mod called Ice and Fire would have a mod ID lowercase Ice and Fire, no spaces. So we're just gonna stick with epic mod. Sure. So next thing to do is to open up the Java folder under main.
Java folder under main.
Yeah. Right click on that and then go to new package. So right click on the Java folder and then go to new package.
New and then package. Okay.
Yeah. In here, type org.yourname. So for me, it's this dot and epic mod.
Wait, didn't create that new package. New package.
Yeah, then org.yourname.epicmod.
org.dhruv.epicmod.
And then press enter. All right, so what you've done is create this package here. And then you're going to right click on it and go to new Java class.
New Java class.
And then type in main with a capital M and then press enter.
Name?
Main, M-A-I-N.
Oh, main, okay.
Okay, so once you've done that, you'll get something like
Yeah. So yeah,
you'll get
basically
something
like that.
you'll get something like this, right?
Yep.
So you write all of this stuff into your IntelliJ, and then
Okay.
I'll explain what it does.
Import net.minecraft forge.html.
And the capitalization matters.
Okay. Dot common dot mod. The mod should turn yellow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget the little semicolon at the end here.
Yeah. What my imports gray.
Yeah, that just means because you haven't used it yet. So it's this.
Okay.
Let me explain it first, and then you can continue writing it down. So the first line just says this is the package it's in.
Mhm.
This line is saying we have a class in some other package that we want to use in this class. So to import it, like bring it here.
Okay.
This is where we actually use that class.
Sure.
The @ symbol means it's an annotation. It's kind of like an adjective. It
Mhm.
modifies our class to tell Forge, hey, look, this is a mod. This is where you go if you want to find a mod.
Okay.
This is our actual class called main with a capital M.
Mhm.
In there, this is a variable. There's a lot of words here. Public means it can be accessed from any other class.
Yeah.
As opposed to like private or something. Static means that this variable will stay the same for every instance of this class.
Mhm.
Final means not the value of the variable can never change. String with a capital S is a Java type that means basically just text. Mod ID, all caps, is the name of the variable. Rohan, you have a dot between final and string. You gotta get rid of that dot and replace it with a space. So mod ID is the capital, is all in all caps, is the name of the variable, and all caps is like the naming convention for constant variables. Equals mean we're going to give it a value,
Mhm.
and then in quotation marks is epic mod, because in quotation marks means it's text. So we
Okay.
have a variable here that's the mod ID of our mod that says epic mod.
Okay.
So write all this down, and then
Yep.
we're almost caught up.
Everything's written down
It is very cool. Then right click on your package again.
on the package.
Yeah, and then new Java class again.
New Java class.
And then this one's going to be called mod event subscriber. U key not working. Subscriber. The U key is like messed up. Hold up. There we go. Okay. Yeah. A capital M, capital E, capital S, no spaces. Mod event subscriber, and then press enter.
So these are all under org.truth.epicmod, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There.
Okay.
So once you've done that, now we are here. Okay. So everybody, close your Minecrafts. We are now all caught up, and we're gonna continue on our modding journey. That's what we're gonna do. Let me plug my charger in. It's okay. We'll get to cool stuff really soon. We'll get to explosions and all sorts of wacky, crazy things. It's worth it. I'm telling you. All right. So now that we're all here, we're gonna go to line 2 and press enter. And then on line 3 here, we're gonna type @ symbol, capital M O D dot event. Oh wait, actually, I might as well use easier. So if you type in capital @ symbol, capital MOD, then you'll see on the second entry here is event bus subscriber. So click on that and then press enter. Yeah. And that will basically automatically fill out event bus subscriber for you and include an import statement for you. All that stuff gets done behind the scenes. So again, if you missed that, on line 2, press enter @ MOD, and then double click on event bus subscriber here. And you get this, okay? So this annotation is a bit different from the regular mod one, and it's saying this class here is gonna deal with events. So then we're gonna add 2 round parentheses after event bus subscriber. So it should look like this. Inside these parentheses are where the parameters are gonna go. And this is gonna be stuff like, now remember, I think I might have mentioned this last time, but There are event buses, which like go around to a bunch of bus stops. It sees what kind of events happened, and then it brings it all back to you. There are 2 event buses. One is the mod event bus, which is for like mod setup type things. The other one is the Forge event bus, which is for things that happen in the actual Minecraft world, like entities spawning or entities dying or whatever. So we only care about that bus right now. So the two parameters we're going to use here are, first thing you're going to type is inside the round parentheses, lowercase mod ID space equals epic mod dot mod ID. So you should be here, and you should see that. Okay, so I'm gonna start again. So if you guys are still here, then pay attention. Stop making Vsauce memes in the chat so that we can get through this quickly. All right. So press enter here at capital MOD. And then the second entry here should be event bus subscriber. Double click on that. What do you mean didn't we name it Epic Mod?
Like before we named it Epic Mod all lowercase, so.
Yeah, it's still named that.
Oh, okay. Wait, but now it's like capitalized E and M.
Oh, that was a mistake. I have it a bit different here. You know what? I'll just fix this right now. I have it open on my other computer also. So like on that one, I had it named differently. Anyways.
Oh, so should we do it all lowercase Epic Mod if we?
No, I'll get to that. So you
Okay.
put the parentheses after this. You type in a lowercase mod ID space equals, and here capital M main dot all caps mod ID. So this is referring to the mod ID variable that we made in the main class. And it's saying this class is an event subscriber, and the mod ID is what we already have from this other class here. Okay? So after you type this, you put a comma, because now we're saying that's one parameter, we want to give another one. And this one we're going to put lowercase bus, because we're telling you which bus we want to use, equals, what's the default? Actually, no, we don't even need to skip this part. Yeah, just leave like that. The bus is already defaulted to what we want. So now your class should look like this. Does anybody's not look like this? Yours doesn't look like this, or it does look like this? It does. Okay, good. All right. So now we're almost there. This is where you're going to start seeing the actual thing that's going to make things explode and whatever. So after this little curly brace, put a new line. No, a second. Over here, one last annotation. @ symbol, capital S, subscribe event. This one right here. We can get to that one afterwards, but just follow along this one for now. We probably have enough time to do 1 or 2 more afterwards. So here @ subscribe event. So now this is another annotation we have. After this, we're going to make what is called a method. Now, a method is like a set of instructions to do something. So we're going to go on the next line, public static void on entity death, curly round parentheses, and like this. So explanation. Public, we already went over that, means any class can access it. Static means this method is going to be the same for every instance of this mod event subscriber class. Now, methods can return something. Like you can have a method called, like, I don't know, get explosion power that can return like a number. But this method doesn't return anything. It just like does something. So that's why it says void. It doesn't have to report back to you. It just does what it does, and that's it. And then on entity death is the name of the method. Now the naming convention for this is the same as classes, except the first letter is always lowercase, and it's called camel case. The parentheses are like the ones we had up here, and that this is where the parameters are gonna go. And the curly braces is the same concept as the class, that like everything inside these is part of the method. So the one parameter we anytime we make an event method, we always need is the type of event. And so for this one, the event is
Hold
gonna
on,
be,
wait. Something happened.
what happened?
Let me screen share.
Yeah.
Why is this thing red?
Okay, click on it, hold Alt and press Enter. Or if you're on a Mac, it'd be Option Enter. Import class. There you go.
Okay.
So it doesn't know what subscribe event you're talking about unless you import the class and tell it, this is the exact one I want.
Okay.
So I am gonna share my screen. Oh, someone else showed up. All right, if anybody here showed up late and is not caught up to speed, then it's a bit late to catch you up now. So you'll have to come to like office hours or something. I'll put this down here. Okay. And if anybody is not set up, which I think most of you guys are, then that's also office hours. So in here, we're gonna say which event we want this method to run on. And the event we're gonna use here is called living death event. It happens whenever a living entity, like a creeper or a pig or whatever, dies. So capital L, living, and then you can see there's a whole bunch of other events here too, like entity use item, entity experience drop, entity fall, destroy block, whatever. Well, we're going for living death event. And then space lowercase event. Now this is basically a variable. You're saying the only parameter of this method is a variable named event of type living death event. So when Forge sees a living death event, it will give that event to this method so that we can do whatever we want with the information from the event. And the information could include like what entity died, where did he die, what world did he die in, things like that. Okay, now this is the part where it's going to actually make sense. So
my event says like what does it say? Like before I was saying you can't use the word event.
okay, share your screen.
Like up here, where is it? Yeah. Like oh, now it's gone. Okay,
Yeah,
no.
that looks fine.
Yeah, no.
Wait, go to your main. There's a red squiggly in your main.
Main.
Yeah, that one. There's something not right there. Oh, you forgot the semicolon after that. Yeah, there.
Oh, okay.
Every line in Java of that sort has to end with a semicolon.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so now we're here. Now we have to know what entity died in this event and what world he was in. So first thing we're going to do is make a variable for the entity. And the way we're going to do that is the type is entity with a capital E, because that's a class. The name is entity with a lowercase e, equals.
Wait, we can't see your screen.
Oh, I didn't share it. Yeah, okay. That's a good point. Here. So let me show that. Inside these curly braces of the method, you're going to type entity with a capital E, space, entity with a lowercase e, space, equals, event dot get entity with this thing. So it says red here, we'll get to that. But this is a variable of type entity with a name entity, and we're going to assign a value that is the thing that died in the event. Now, since this here has curly braces, that tells, or I mean, round parentheses, that tells you that get entity is a method. So, yeah, okay, that's helpful. All right, Dhruv, please stop posting. Dhruv S, please stop posting weird stuff in the chat. I don't need your base 64 encoded. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so now this is red because we have not imported entity. It doesn't know what the heck entity was. Can you ban people from chat? Is that a thing?
You can just.
I'm not gonna worry about it. Just don't post weird stuff in the chat. So what we're gonna do is click on the red entity, and if you're on Windows, it's gonna be Alt Enter. If you're on Mac, it's Option Enter. Oh, and that if you click that, it'll basically just fix it for you. It'll automatically import it. So now you see we have this here: import net.minecraft.entity.entity. So this is saying if we ever have a class entity, this is the one we're looking for. Okay. So now we have the entity that actually died in this event. Next thing to do on the next line is to find the world he died in. I think this is like what dimension he died in. I'm not entirely sure on the concept of world. Anyways, capital W, world, space, lowercase world, equals entity.get entity world. And again, you'll see red world here, so just click on it and then Alt Enter or Option Enter, and it'll import it. So what we've done on these two lines is first we have like gotten the entity that died in the event, and then we got the world in which it died. So now we pretty much have everything we need to create an explosion. And that is what we are going to do on the next line here. After I drink some water. Mir has raised his hand. What is your question?
When I type that first line, entity equals event dot get entity, the one with the capital E is red.
Yeah, so you click on the capital E one, and
Okay.
then for Mac, it's Option. You hold on Option and you click Enter, and it'll automatically fix it for you.
Okay.
And same
Okay.
thing for world. Same thing will happen for that. Yeah, you press Enter twice. This is more of a personal preference. I like having like lots of spaces between related things, so I know what's what. It doesn't really matter how many times you press Enter. You could do like way down here if you wanted, but I'm just gonna do it right here. So okay, we'll keep it simple. Just put it on the next line. So on this line, we're gonna type world dot create explosion with a lowercase c, capital E, opening parentheses, and we're gonna type, so first thing it wants is the entity to create the explosion with, and that's gonna be the one that died. Okay, now comma, next thing it wants is the X position of the entity, and we're gonna get that by typing entity.get pos X. Then it just wants Y and Z positions, so we're going to do entity.get pos Y, entity.get pos Z. There's a comma between each one of these. Now, the next thing it wants is the explosion radius. Now, you can go crazy with this, but don't go like too high or you might like crash your computer or something. So I am going to go for a reasonable value of 10. Okay, and now the last thing it wants is the explosion mode, and this is like whether it destroys blocks, whether it drops the items from those blocks, or whether it doesn't destroy blocks at all. So I'm gonna go explosion, or if you type in explosion, it'll give you the three modes here. There's break, destroy, and none. None means it doesn't destroy any blocks. Break means it destroys the blocks and drops the items. And destroy means it just breaks the blocks and doesn't drop any items. So I'm gonna go for this one. And then don't forget semicolon at the end. So now we have this big class, and I'm going to explain it once more because some of these concepts are kind of hard to understand. First thing we have is the package this class is in. Then we import a bunch of other classes we need, like entity, explosion, world, whatever, you know. Now we have an annotation here telling Forge this class has event handlers that with the mod ID that we made before. We have the name of the class, mod event subscriber. Now we have a method here that subscribes to an event, and that event is the living death event. We get the entity from that event, we get the world from the entity, and we create an explosion at its position with a power of 10 or whatever number you chose, and then whatever mode you chose. So that is essentially the end of our first mod. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you guys what it looks
Wait,
like
I
on
have
my
a
screen.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
My explosion radius one
Yeah.
and my explosion for the explosion.mode.destroy, they're both red.
All right, share your screen.
Okay. See, it shows like this.
Okay, so no, you have to, first of all, remove the word explosion radius and the colon.
Mhm.
Because you just want the number there.
Oh,
And then,
okay.
and for that one, you press Alt Enter and it'll import it. Because it doesn't know what explosion you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Import class. Okay.
There you go. And then destroy should be all caps.
Oh.
Because destroy is like a constant variable. Like the mode of destroying is going to be the same for every explosion. So you guys can test this out on your own, but I will show you what it looks like on mine as well, so you guys get a better
Wait,
idea.
before you do that, I have a question.
Sure.
Can I share my screen? It'll be easier to do it like that.
Yeah, let
than
me
just
stop
talking.
mine. Here you go.
All right, this and this. Why is this thingy red? Oh, never mind.
Okay, so
Why
yeah,
can't I do explosion radius?
you just have to you remove the word explosion radius. It just wants the number. The name of the parameter is explosion radius, but all you have to give it is a number, right? And then for that
so what
one,
do I do for this then?
Rohan, you watch this too. On this one, it doesn't know. See, it's asking there net.minecraft.world.explosion. That means it doesn't know which explosion it is, but it's guessing it's this one. So you have to press Alt Enter or Option Enter if you're on Mac. Yeah, and then it'll import it for you. So
Wait,
now you
and to run it, do you just hit the green play button?
Yeah, the green button.
Okay.
So should we try it out now?
Yeah, go ahead. I will share it on my screen so you can see what it should look like, and then you can see if it works properly on yours as well.
Wait, do we
So,
actually have to kill a mob?
yeah, you have to. The event is living death event. So whenever like a creeper or a pig or even the player dies, it'll cause an explosion. So I'm gonna launch it here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Mir raised his hand. What's your question?
For the explosion radius, it doesn't show like the letters explosion radius. Like, do you have to type those in, or does it automatically?
No, okay. Oh wait, I can see what the mistake was here. This is not actually part of the code. This is just a hint. This is IntelliJ reminding you that this parameter is called explosion radius. You don't need these words here. Like, even if they were gone, it wouldn't make a difference.
Okay, so I don't need to have them on my code?
Yeah, you don't need to have it.
Okay.
I think that's what DrewVM did, and I can see where that might have been confusing. Okay, so new world.
Also, I'm having trouble with mine. Like,
what's the trouble?
So here, let me share the screen.
All right, let me show this first, and then I'll get to you after that. So I'll just show you guys what the thing is meant to look like, and then you can test it in game to see if it works properly. Okay, so I'll get like a sword or something. Get a pig.
A diamond sword. Bro, that's
there we go.
Oh my God.
He exploded. That pig is dead. Now, if I go over here and I put another pig next to him, they both explode. It's like a chain reaction. If I put one like right in the middle here, then all of them explode.
Nope,
except for that
missed
guy.
one.
He
You
got
missed
away.
one.
Back here. There it is. But that's essentially what the mod does. So now, who needed help? Was it Rohan who needed help?
No, I needed help.
Oh, DrewVM. I can't really tell by your voices.
Oh, DrewVM needs help.
Yeah, okay.
So does Rohan.
Okay, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to DrewVM, then we're gonna go to Rohan, then we'll go to me here. So, DrewVM, share your screen.
Okay. So, share. Okay, so when I try hitting
Semicolon.
Where?
You just need a semicolon right there.
Oh,
That's all. No, don't worry about it. I make the same mistake all the time.
Wait, after destroy, right?
At the very end of the line. Yeah, right there.
This mod is very destructive, as I figured out the hard way.
That it is. Okay, Rohan, you needed help, so share your screen.
It works. It works.
Rowan, share your
I am
screen and I can help you out
miracle.
there. There you go. There's a lot of, why is the size of the thing so weird? It just scrolls, there you go, okay. Oh, that comma, entity, comma, get world should be a dot.
Okay.
And then at the top where it says main.mod ID, there should not be a comma after that. On line 10, yeah, there. Remove that. There are still some red stuff. Okay, what you're missing, after the word destroy, there should be an ending parentheses on
Where
line
is this?
16 at the very end.
Play some Minecraft.
At the very end of line 16, there should be a closing parentheses and a semicolon. No, the closing one, not the opening one. You have to remove the opening parenthesis, just the closing one. Because there already is an opening one at the beginning. There you go. Now it
Wait.
should work.
Okay.
Mr. Teacher,
Yeah.
mine showed an error.
Okay, name? I don't know your
Drew
name
Van.
from the Drew
Drew
Vam again.
So
Alright.
it
So
says
wait, I'll get to Mir first because he raised his hand first,
Okay.
and then I'll get to you. All right, Mir, what's your question?
I was running the thing and it showed like a red error.
All right, share your screen.
Okay. Shows like an error right here, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, you have an extra comma there. Get rid of that comma right before the line you're on.
With this
Or
one
where your cursor was just now, there was an extra comma. Yeah,
here,
get rid of that one.
running again.
There you go. That should work. All right, Dhruv M had a question.
okay.
All right, share your screen.
Wait. Share screen. Where's the Minecraft one? Yeah. So it shows this.
Okay, go to your IntelliJ.
Wait, what?
Go to your
Go to
IntelliJ.
IntelliJ. Yeah.
Close the game. I can't see your IntelliJ. It's only showing the game.
Oh, okay. So I'll stop sharing.
And whoever's playing the music, turn that off.
Wait, what should I do?
Go to share your entire screen, not just one application.
Okay. I'm sharing my IntelliJ.
There you go. Okay, go to your mods.toml.
Mods.com.
Go down. Oh, okay. Yeah, delete that package.
Delete this one?
Yeah, I forgot to do that. You have to delete it twice.
What? How do you delete it?
It's like kind of in the middle.
There?
Yeah. Do that.
Com.example mod.
Yeah, delete that.
Now will it work?
Then delete it again. You have to do it twice.
Wait, this one.
Right click, delete. Because essentially what was happening is that the example mod, which had the mod ID example mod, was still
Oh.
in that package. So it was like, what is this mod that's randomly here?
Okay, got it. So now it should work.
Yeah. Rohan, you have to be in creative to use spawn eggs or whatever, but you can also just find like a random pig or a random whatever somewhere else and just kill that.
Here, let me stop sharing.
Okay. So I think everyone got it working.
I also have a problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Share your screen. Oh, what the heck? Okay, where on the red entity, click on that, and then press Alt and Enter at the same time. Yeah, it says there, Alt plus Enter. So, and then do the same thing for world. Oh, there's a number of things missing here, actually. Okay, where it says create explosion, right after the parenthesis, put your cursor there. One more after.
What?
One more to the right. Yeah, and then type in entity, all lowercase, comma, space. There you go. And then go all the way to the end of the line. Okay, yeah, so get rid of the part that says explosion radius, the part that says explosion radius, colon, get rid of that part.
Get rid of all this.
Yeah, get rid of that. And then on explosion, Click on that and then press Alt Enter. There you go. It just basically just have to import all this stuff. And yeah, you can run the game now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the
Wait,
hints on here. Yeah.
also, do I have to delete com.example?
Yeah, you have to delete that one. Otherwise, it'll ask like, what is this random mod you have here? How do I turn off parameter hints? Let's keep it on. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to share my screen because we're almost out of time here. So again, if you ever see anything like this here, explosion radius comma, but like not in the same font, this is just telling you the name of the parameter. You should not type this in by yourself. So that is that. Yeah, so it is 5 o'clock and we have made our first mod today. Does anybody have any more questions before we go?
Wait, I'm just gonna check if it works.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do that. If you guys have it working and you're good to go, then you can you can go.
Okay.
Time to play Fortnite. Okay, yeah. I respect your opinion, even if it's wrong.
Okay.
Also, I would request that you guys keep your games muted so that the music doesn't come into the stream during the meeting. Okay, I'm gonna stop my screen share. So,
Got it.
what is that noise? There you go. I heard the explosion.
It works.
Nice.
That's good. Now, how do I check?
But if it explodes when you kill things, then you're good to go. Your mod works and you're all good.
Right, but how do you change the volume?
You go to options and then like music settings or like sound settings or something.
Oh, okay.
And then you put master volume to 0.
Okay.
All right, Mihir and Tanmay, are you good?
Oh yeah, my game's just really slow and it hasn't loaded yet.
Okay. So just once you guys confirm that it works, you guys can leave and then I'll end the meeting.
Why is my thing lagging a bit? Is that natural for it
Depends
to?
on your computer. It lags sometimes, like especially on a laptop.
Yeah, like when I touch these black squares, it lags.
That's just how it is.
And I'm stuck.
But as long as you got the explosion, then you're all set.
I also have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, well, after we're done with like these classes, will we still keep these accounts?
Yeah. Like you didn't need a Minecraft account to join this in the first place because like it doesn't have you can't join any servers or anything with this because like it automatically assigns you a username like dev like DEV. And you can keep all the code and everything you've written here. You can even continue doing it. There's lots of great tutorials online for this kind of thing as well. But most of those expect you to already know Java. So that's why we're kind of going from the ground up here.
Okay, mine worked.
Very good. All right. So if all you guys things are working, I'm gonna end the meeting here, and I'll see you guys next time.